Well, folks, it's time to kick it old school. Yeah.
What's up, everybody? Herb and Rodg, great show planned for you tonight, breaking down the SEC with one scraggler, one outlier. We'll bring it to you. Of course, whenever we do this show, we always have our guest, Big Mike, running Wrestling Pod, favorite of moms. How are you doing today, Mike?
Well, it ain't that easy. It's what the song says. So always good being around you guys. What's going on?
Appreciate it. And the
good
person I think is Bama Beat, but looks like he came straight from a GQ movie or a shoot right before he got in here. What's up, man? How are we doing tonight? I think you muted yourself before you. Yep. See, this is what happens when you. Okay,
here we go.
Sorry, guys.
See,
No,
it's
you
the
hear me
hat.
now?
The hat is missing. Everything is going wrong.
It's the hat. It must be the hat. I'm having a little trouble with the right earbud, so I think I'll just take that out. But I'm good. How are you guys doing?
Doing good, man. Doing good. Thanks for good to see you again. Good to see both of y'all again.
Thank you, Raj.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh, sorry, Herb. Let me interrupt the host.
Let's say hello to a couple of people and then we'll kind of get right into it.
Yeah.
Happy National Soft Ice Cream Day. Thank you, Zach, for always keeping us up to date. Lady Alpha, half of the Alpha Pools, and
Lady Alpha,
half of the Wrestling Divas podcast coming out soon. So looking forward to that. Early September, is that correct? Mike says yes.
Okay. All right.
Well, Mike's like the unofficial manager, so I thought he would chime in, but he's like, F you, Herb.
Yes,
What's
it is
up,
early
Kat?
September.
What's up, Kat? How are you doing? What's up, Carol, our favorite Georgia Bulldog? Good to see you.
Evening, Carol.
Nick Beasley in the
Nick
house.
Beasley in the building.
Joining Nick on Thursday?
Yep.
At 7:59, not 8 o'clock, right?
Okay.
Yeah.
Whatever time you want to roll.
What's up, Jeff? Roll Tide. Gonna be catching up with Jeff. If I'm late picking up Raj from the airport, it's Jeff's fault next week. So everybody knows that in advance.
Evening, Jeff. Shout out to the
Do I need to come get you from the airport?
No,
Raj, it's gonna be in Tallahassee. So you gonna drive all the way down there to get him?
Yeah. Randy is in the building. Thank you for joining us, sir.
Randy? Good to see you. Yeah. And if alcohol is the reason why I'm late getting them, and it's because I'll be down there like 8 a.m. So that's that's more like it for sure, Joe.
Oh yeah.
And we'll have a release date on Friday. So dang, Cat. I don't know if Cat's doubting me or just being realistic. But either way, ouch. So you know how we always do this show. Usually start off going through the roster, especially before this last game, checking out everybody. Of course, didn't think we'd have such major changes right before we got out there, but let's just go ahead and get started straight into it. Bama Beat. We'll start with you with the grading scale. We start on offense because I love offense and I try and get as quickly through defense as possible. Got to start with the one that just lost their starter for minimum, first couple games. How do you rate the running back room now?
So I put down a B. And really that's regardless of Jam Miller's injury. I don't think that's going to be a long-term deal. Sounds like there's a good chance he'll be back by the Georgia game. So I think there's a lot of depth in that room, but really just kind of want to see them take it to the next level. I felt like Alabama was, maybe a little average at running back last year, but I think it's also hard to say because the offense was so, Jalen Milroe based and we didn't really get a great push up front. So I've got a B grade, pretty good. I think that room, just has to prove themselves a little bit. I'm really interested to see who fills in for Miller while he's out, who kind of takes the bell cow position there. A lot of talk about Daniel Hill in the spring. That hasn't carried over as much in the fall as I thought it might. Richard Young's there. Kevin Riley's getting some talk. Traylon Washington out of Louisiana is a guy I really like. He's similar to some of the backs DeBoer's used in the past. So I'm at a B with that group. I think there's a chance they could be, higher by the end of the season, but we'll just have to see how it evolves.
Mike, did your assessment change when you heard the Jam Miller news come down?
Yeah, it actually gives me a little bit more hope because we'll get to see more of them in the beginning. I mean, I hate that for Jam Miller because I know he's waited so long. And obviously, you never want to see anybody get hurt, but I think it gives it a very unique opportunity to some of those other guys who hasn't had as many carries.
Yeah.
So I don't know that my grade really went up because I'm not as smart as Bama Beat. I don't know how to grade them really well. I don't have all the insider knowledge.
None of us is.
I
So
feel
that's
pretty
why he
comfortable about them.
cares.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not as smart as you might think.
Yeah.
This
Well,
is all smoke and mirrors.
Well, we're grading on a curve, and you're
especially
definitely
now
ahead
that
of me on the
the ad
curve.
is off. Yeah, there you go. There you go. Let's say hello to a couple. I saw a couple other. Jay Bacon with the A-.
Jay Bacon in the building.
Yes, sir. Jeff said Bama by 100 always. Cat, I haven't listened to his thing yet, just because I don't want to get.
Josh Pate spoke highly of Alabama recently, so especially after the
He
second
did.
scrimmage. So he gave us a lot of kudos, a lot of confidence in there. So got a lot of people's hopes up. Got my hopes up. I'm not gonna lie.
Are you Rod? No.
Yeah. What?
No.
Hey,
No.
it is what it is, man.
All right. What's up? Oh, and Kyle just stepped in too as well. What's up? Roll time. All right, GQ. What is your grade for the quarterback room?
Yeah, so I'm at a B plus with that position group. Honestly, the competition's played out exactly how I hoped it would. Ty Simpson.
It's not just me.
Ty Simpson grabbing that job early in fall camp. I think that's the best you could have hoped for as an Alabama fan. Austin Mack, Keelan Russell, obviously very talented options. Actually, have heard a lot of really good things about Mack in particular within this camp, as far as his readiness to possibly fill in should Simpson have to miss any time. And then, I think everyone knows, Keelan's supremely talented, obviously the future at that position. So I think they've, got three good options. I'm glad Ty's kind of grabbed the bull by the horns and ran with it, to use some Saban terminology. Actually, behind the scenes, I've heard he's a real leader, man. Like the exact phrase that was used to me was, man, he stays on those guys' asses, wide receiver room, especially making sure they run the right routes, making sure that we're disciplined up front. So, I mean, I'm really excited to see him and really excited for Ty and just the opportunity that he's going to have.
Yeah.
Same here.
Rodg, I saw you did a video recently, and it had Austin Mack in it. Does that make you feel better hearing that he's doing well in practice then?
Yeah, definitely. I think behind the scenes we were kind of unsure of, like, I guess the Bama Beats point of if something was to happen to Ty, who was going to be QB2. I feel like there's this I don't know if it's a separation, but there's a lot of people who want Keelan Russell to be number 2 because of his ranking coming out of high school and being one of the best overall prospects we've ever had. Then there's some people who don't feel like he may be ready. We don't want to just throw him in there yet. And then there's other people who think that Austin Mack could be QB2. I'm kind of in the middle. I could go either way, but I do think it's important for both of them to kind of get on the field at some point throughout the season. I don't know how often that'll happen when we go to Florida State or to Tallahassee. Depends on the score and everything. Some people think we're going to win 500-7. Some people think it could be, 28-21. If not that game, I do think it'll be the Louisiana Monroe game. I think we'll be able to see all three guys during that game. And even if you see Austin Mack come in at QB2, I don't know if that's set in stone. I think throughout the season they could just recycle the second quarterback until they feel comfortable about somebody towards the end of the season. So
I like it. I was actually thinking about going to the Louisiana Monroe game, and I texted a friend about it. I was like, I'm thinking about going to the Louisiana Monroe game, and they said, great, you should have fun. I was like,
okay.
It could be worse. They could have told you not to have fun.
Yeah,
right.
Exactly.
I mean, I was just like, oh, okay, guess I'll be going by myself. So it was a great text. So, Mike, you happy with how? What? I'm not saying anything.
Oh, come on, Cat. Come on, Cat.
Wow.
J Money said, J Money, thanks for joining us too. Oh yeah, we start.
Appreciate you, J Money.
But then, have you seen any other quarterbacks that it goes? So, Mike, you're happy with how it played out? Then you're behind Ty.
Yeah, no, I'm excited about this. I'm excited about this QB room. I've obviously we all love Jalen Milroe, but I think at times he could be a detriment, just with some of his deficits. I guess not necessarily. Maybe that's not the right word. Not that Ty won't have some of that, but I'm just excited for a new year and to see where we can go. I think the communication between like the offensive line and the quarterback will be a lot better this year, and that's really what's got me excited, which will come up in our grading of the O-line here soon.
Yeah.
I think Ty is a much better fit for DeBoer's offense.
Yeah, I agree.
I mean, in my defense, I did get ditched this weekend by somebody. I won't name any names, but I tried to call somebody and I got checked to voicemail. So I literally got ditched. So if we play that game, I know where that goes. So I'm just saying maybe that had something to do with the comment earlier.
Probably not, though. Probably not. I would love this, by the way. So, and next week on the show, we will be going game by game through Alabama's schedule. So, definitely.
If we did beat Louisiana Monroe like that, none of the focus would be on offensive production. It would be the fact that we missed that one extra point. And everybody would, and we'd be like,
we'd have a whole segment on it.
We have to get a new kicker. Oh, what are we going to do?
Yeah. So, and yeah, I agree, Kat. I think he knew what he had in that room for sure.
Yeah.
All right. You know, my favorite one. If this isn't an A, I'm stabbing everyone. Wide receiver.
Well, lucky for you, I've got A written down. So
okay.
Yeah. But yeah, I really love that position group. I think it's the second strongest on the team, just looking at my ratings. Obviously you got the trio there with Ryan Williams, Bernard, and Horton kind of expected to be the top three guys. Yeah, I think adding Horton gives you a lot more flexibility in what you can do with Ryan and Jeremy this year. So I'm excited to see that. How Grubb utilizes those two guys. And I think you got some good depth behind it. You know, Rico Scott has had a really good camp. Nicole Adams has made some nice plays in a few scrimmages. Jalen Hale's coming back from injury. You got Bach, in that room as well. So, super deep at the position. And, obviously those top guys are top notch, some of the best in college football. So, I think if Alabama's offense is successful this year, that those guys are going to have a big year. I know everybody likes to run the football, but if you look at Ryan Grubb's offenses historically, they've been about 60-40 pass to run. So I'm hoping those guys have a big year.
Yep. Rod, I watched a video that you did recently, and one of these guys was mentioned on it as well. Why are you a Rico Scott fan?
I'm a Rico Scott fan. One reason, and I'll go ahead and put it out there, the pass he caught last year from Austin Mack against Mercer, that might have been the best pass we saw from our team all last year. But another reason is I think whenever people talk about Alabama's wide receiver core, the first three names that get mentioned are, Hollywood, the Germinator, and Isaiah Horton. And I just feel like Rico Scott could easily fill that fourth position or even fifth, depending on what happens there. But I like his size. I like his speed. I think he's got good hands, and I just think he's going to be very, very reliable when the time comes. And again, just as far as grading the whole wide receiver core, I mean, I'm not going to give him an A+ yet until maybe after game 3, but I'll give him an A. I'll give him an A for right now. Okay. I'll give him an A. I'm just excited to see how we distribute the ball through the air. And I just want to see more of it on the field before I give him that A+. But right now, I can give him an A, and I'll be fine with that.
What about Hollywood, the Germinator, and Hotown?
I don't know.
Oh, Mike?
I don't know.
No? Okay. Well, I mean, we'll keep trying. They can't all be winners. Mike,
that was a loser.
How many 1,000-yard how many 1,000-yard wide receivers do you think Alabama gets this year?
I think they could have two in one close. I like Bama Beat said, I like the depth. So I think there's a good possibility to have 2, maybe 3. And one of the people he didn't mention that you and I saw her when we were at the A-Day game was Brooks make a lot of really good catches and make an impact there. And I mean, I haven't heard a whole lot about him in camp, but I mean, his name wasn't even mentioned with the 57 wide receivers that we just rattled through here in a minute ago. So yeah, I would definitely give it an A, even without the threat of physical violence. So there's that. But out of curiosity, you've mentioned these videos that Rodg keeps doing. Where can I find those if I wanted to go watch them?
You can Mike, that's a very good question. Thank you for asking. You can just go to the Herb and Rodg podcast, hopefully the same way you found this show, but you can go to the Herb and Rodg podcast and check out our video section. So that one was Underrated Offense starring Roderick Ragsdale. And he's got one coming up with the defense and then the 5 most important players on Alabama this year. So, Mike, thank you very much for asking. We appreciate you.
So corny. That's why I love it.
The sad thing is that really wasn't playing.
I know. That's what I'm saying.
Exactly, God. People will never understand how important Mike is to this show. So, without Mike, we're just 2 guys sitting on the side of the street, like, begging for change. So, Mike, we always appreciate you. So, what? No? Okay. All right. Let's go to tight ends.
So this is my lowest rated position group, and it's really just the lack of experience, at the position. Right. B minus is where I was at. I like the talent a lot in the room. I think Cuevas did some good things last year. I really like him. He moves pretty well. I think he's got potential as a blocker, good hands. Danny Lewis is coming off an injury, and Cuevas has been banged up as well. So I think those freshmen have gotten more run with the ones in camp than they may have otherwise, which would probably be good for their development. So that's Marshall Pritchett and then Caleb Edwards. Really high on Edwards, just watching his high school film, just super athletic, big body, just think he's got a lot of potential, but really unproven at that position. So until, we have more proven track record there, it's going to have to be the lowest rated position group on the offense.
And Edwards and Pritchett have both put on some weight too since being on campus, haven't they?
They have, yeah. I think Pritchett's put on like 20 or 30 pounds, and Caleb Edwards is up around 260, which is just huge for a freshman tight end. So, really excited about those guys. I mean, I think staff's done, good job with tight ends in the past at their pass stops, and those look like 2 good evals.
Yeah. Somehow, because of injuries and picking up the 2 late in the spring, though, it seems like one of our deepest positions with like all the question marks still in it, though.
There's a lot of bodies there. I'll say that. So if the first couple don't work out, you got a few more options you could turn to.
Maybe I really just said we're just gonna throw crap at the wall and see what sticks. That's what we're doing. Mike, is there anybody in there you're particularly excited about before we move to the line?
Obviously Cuevas. Quavo is what I know. That's Rodg's nickname for him, Quavo.
No. If you don't have a nickname, you're not winning.
And that's probably why. Just because everybody that Rodg gives a nickname to, has breakout years. Just look at the Germinator from last year.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, I'm excited to see him healthy. Obviously we haven't seen a whole lot of him in the off season, but I'm just excited to see him.
Here's your, by the way, wide receiver production: 15, 11. Yep.
That's almost 3 guys at 1,000. I don't know if I would love to see those numbers. I just don't know if that's going to actually happen. But...
I just like Hort being the second guy since he's my favorite.
Yeah.
All right. One of the, biggest swings, I guess, for this team, offensive line.
Yeah, this is definitely a position group that I think if at the end of the year we look back and it was a disappointing season, the offensive line's probably going to have some blame in that. I'm kind of in wait-and-see mode with this group. I think I've been saying that for the last few years preseason on the offensive line. I was at a B+. I think the group's got potential, but I'm in, got to see it to believe it mode with that group. I think Pro Football Focus had them like the number 1 offensive line in the country. I just don't see.
I think Rodg did a video on that in case you had.
Yeah, I don't see the track record there to really
Right.
support that rating. The talent's definitely there. I think Proctor is going to have a big year. He was good last year. I think Cam Dewberry started to settle into that left guard spot. Brailsford's one of the best centers in the country. I think Formby, I think people were too quick to give up on him. He's still a young player. I think he can lock down that right tackle spot. You got a few talented freshmen, Michael Carroll, Jackson Lloyd, that I think are going to be ready to play soon. The one position that worries me a little bit along that front is right guard. Jaden Roberts has struggled with injuries his whole career. He's got an ongoing concussion issue right now. This is not the first concussion he's had. And I think we talked a little bit before about I question the fit a little bit with him, even when he is healthy. Just the blocking scheme under DeBoer is a little different than it was under Saban. So that position, I think, is the one to watch as far as, potential weakness along that offensive line. Gino Vandermark's another option there. He's probably got some physical limitations, but I'm excited about that group. Probably the most excited I've been in a few years, but I want to see, production on the field there.
Mike, you along the same lines?
Yeah, I mean, not to use a whole lot of circumlocution. This is probably my most exciting group of the entire team. I mentioned the communication. I think will be better as well. I think will help a lot of that too. This is the most excited for the O-line I've been in a little while.
Oh, okay. And by the way, Randy, just for that, Kat answered it perfectly.
Yeah,
not making the playoffs.
Yeah, if
that's
10-2. I mean, if we end up 9-3 and we still make the playoffs, I'll take it. So not making the playoffs would be a disappointment. Yeah.
Yep, that is it. All right, so that gets us through the whole offense, and we are running behind. So to my success, we can get the defense all in one grade. We won't grade the kicker because everything is like an F, barely coming out of practice. So remember, we throw the formula together. And you mentioned the wide receiver as your second highest grade. Was DBs your highest group then?
Yeah, I had DBs in A+. I mean, they're just the massive amount of depth they've got at that position. I mean, I think the starting quartet is probably the best in the country, if not the best, one of the best. And you got a lot of depth behind that. Cam Calhoun, Deshaun Jones, Dijon Lee. I mean, it's an embarrassment of riches back there. So, A+ for them, highest position group on the team. I think my overall rating for the defense would be an A- heading into the season. High expectations for that group. I think they'll feel more comfortable in the second year and this new scheme under Kane Womack. So expect to take some strides there. I thought they got a lot better as the year went along last year. I think D-line is the position group I'm watching. That's another one, just like offensive line. Go figure, the trenches. If Alabama has a disappointing season on that side of the ball, it's probably because the D-line didn't do their part. Linebacker, I think you're really strong in the middle, ton of depth there. I think you're still looking for somebody to take kind of the bull by the horns at outside linebacker, speed rusher off the edge. I think Quay Russaw has the potential to be really good out there, but he had some injuries last year. I don't know that he's proven that he can be that guy yet. So you got a lot of younger guys. I'm excited to see Keon Keeley. I think he's going to play this year. Excited to see what he can do off the edge. So I know that's Rodg's guy. So
yes.
You
may not have heard, but Rodg did a video and it had Keon Keeley.
Okay.
You make it seem like I just sit at home and do videos all day. Hey, it's me again. No.
I mean,
I do work.
I mean, if your TikTok's real, your relationship with your neighbors is amazing.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I'm working on those.
So if we ever do the work, live, play, ditch, I want to live next to Rodg just because I see him talk to his neighbors all the time.
Yes.
And I'm always the only one.
Yeah, Randy, Bama did scrimmage on Saturday. So
one guy I think has to stay healthy for Bama on defense this year. James Smith. I think he's the most dynamic defensive lineman Alabama has. I think Alabama really needs him to stay healthy, and he's had a little bit of an injury in fall camp. So hopefully he can stay on the field.
Yeah. Mike, do you have anything to add defensive wise?
No, I don't. He explained it perfectly. I think we're going to be better than we were last year, and it got better as it went. So there you go.
It did. It did.
Yes, sir. Rodg, did you have a video that you wanted to talk about right here, or are we gonna move
I'm
on
good.
here?
I'm good, Herb.
Okay. I just
I'm good.
you've been hyping him up all day, so I just want to make sure.
No.
All right, let's go and have a little fun before we get into what was it under downloads? Yeah, this is going to be a minute. Mike, I thought I just saved this. Did I not save it?
You said you were going to.
Who can I blame for this?
I'm always right here. I should have downloaded it for you. My bad. It's on me.
Yes, there we go. Thank you. Let's see. Where are you? Raj, you don't have a video you want to promote or something while I'm looking stupid right now for a second?
Yeah, J Money. We've been talking about Keon Keeley for a little while now, so excited to see him, I guess, potentially get on the field this fall. I think he's been waiting his time, kind of like Ty as well. So hope he puts up some good production this fall.
I got a question for y'all. What about Mbakwe?
Can't be on me. Whose fault is this, Herb? Yeah, go ahead.
What exactly, like, as far as playing wise, or what?
What do y'all feel about his situation? I mean, I feel like he's pretty buried at wide receiver right now.
Yep.
I know we've talked about it in the past, but man, I'm kind of wishing he had stuck it out at DB. I know that position's loaded too, but he was ahead of some of those guys that are challenging for spots at the time. And
yeah. I think he wouldn't have been asked playing the two deepest positions on the team and jump to one that, I mean, who are you taking out if you put Bach in? So at least on the other one, you had a year in the system and you were there. Here, you're trying to go over there, jump in, new quarterback who doesn't have anything. It just seems too many variables. It's almost like we let you do it because your best friend's our best wide receiver. And now we're just like, you want to go return punts and kicks?
That's what I was going to ask. Is he still listed as the number one returner? Because I know he's kind of been in that role.
Yeah, I think we'll get a depth chart next week, and maybe we'll get some insight on that. DeBoer has just thrown out names at this point, and he's one of them. I think he's thrown out Williams, Jeremy, Bach, Cole Adams. So, Adams
is the one I remember seeing at A-Day along with Bach. It was Adams and him.
Yeah, I mean, Bach's the more dynamic between those two. Cole Adams, you're probably feeling better about just making the catch and not turning the ball over. Yeah.
Cole just wants to bring it in. So for sure. And a couple ones just from our office in James Bach. Yeah, I agree. And that's kind of been a consensus between people.
Yeah.
JP had a couple. I think we'll save yours till the end, JP, because we're going to focus on the other teams first. But good questions I see on there. And Jay Bakes as well. We saw that. All right, man, beat. Raj put this together for you real quick. Of course, we looked through your Twitter page, and there's very few pictures, if any. So you just get your logo instead. So it's Raj's top 5, but we're going with your top 5 players. Number 1, Devontae Smith.
Yeah, you gotta love Smitty, man. Great attitude, hard worker. About as storied a career as you can have at wide receiver in college, I'd say.
I feel like I'm sitting too low. I don't like this.
Hey, Mike, you remember when I called you unprofessional? Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Herb flew the coop for a minute.
Herb stole that one. Yeah. What?
Well, he's just trying to make me feel better.
We've been doing this show for like 20 years. We've been doing this show for 20 years. He's never done that. Just gotten up like that. Man.
Oh.
He knew my feelings were hurt when you said that, and he's like, you know what? I'm going to make Mike feel better, so I'm going to try to do as much as possible to make him feel better during this particular show.
Oh, yeah. Derrick Henry.
Because I love you guys. Number 2, Derrick Henry.
Yeah, just a workhorse, man. I mean, basically, that offensive line was pretty good, not great, and he basically carried that offense with the little assistance from Jake Coker. I don't want to cut Jake Coker short on that season. He was pretty good as well.
Still going strong today in the NFL, too.
Yep.
Ingram, the OG, Bama great running back under Saban. Mm-hmm. Just played the position with a lot of passion. I mean, I loved watching him play. He had a great running style, very Emmitt Smith-like. So he kind of started Bama's train at the running back position.
Yep. Bryce Young.
Yeah. So Bryce was my favorite quarterback to watch. A lot of people go Tua. I have a soft spot in my heart for Bryce.
Did you see Mike? Yeah, too.
Tua's a great one.
Two is mine too, but I Bryce is like right there though. I just feel like Bryce's decision making just puts him just sets him apart from a lot of these other QBs we've had.
Yeah. So that's what it is for me, Rodg. That sets him apart from Tua. I think he was a little bit better in the big games against some of the better defenses as far as not turning the ball over. As great as Tua was, just really cerebral. Always felt comfortable with him, even when he was scrambling around. He didn't have a fantastic supporting cast while he was here too. Especially once Mechie and Williams went down. After that, it seemed like he didn't have much to work with at wide receiver the next year and a half or so. But just a great player, and I'm interested to see how he does with the Panthers this season. Hopefully, he builds off of what he did at the end of last year.
And you had to throw in one defender, I guess.
Yeah. So this was my out of the box. This is my out of the box pick. I almost went Minka here. But I went Eddie just to kind of break the mold a little bit. Just loved watching him play in the back end. He's a great return man. I think people don't remember how good he was on punt returns, and seems like every pick he got, he took back to the house. So, just one of those great Saban evals. He was just a 3-star corner. Started out at the corner position, eventually moved to safety, and really blossomed at that position.
Like the list. Thank you, sir. Thank you. Sorry, Rodg took a minute to get everything up there. And Jeff actually had one for you. Glenn Coffey actually set the bar.
Yeah.
That's a good point. Yeah. Terry Grant, if you're going back to 2007, I don't know that he was up there with those guys, but
Rodg and Arson oh, okay.
No.
All right, let's get into some teams, which of course we're going to start outside the SEC, because Mike always has to tell us a little bit about the Fighting Primes. And for those that don't know, we're just going to go through the schedule for the teams we don't care as much about. We're going to just throw out a record and keep it moving till we get to the teams we actually like. So what you got, Mike? Mike always. So we don't do Alabama in this segment, even though we've had some questions about the record. We will still answer those at the end, but next week is our full Alabama breakdown schedule-wise. So, Mike, how do the Fighting Primes recover from losing all their stars?
Fighting Primes.
Yeah, that's kind of the key. You got a transfer quarterback in that they feel really good about. He's a dual threat quarterback, so they think they're going to be okay at quarterback. Obviously, you're going to have a downgrade from Shador last year. He, like I said, it will probably be more of a balanced offense than it was last year, with a little bit more run than throwing it 40 times a game. Obviously, because you've lost some talent not only at quarterback but at wide receiver as well. With Travis Hunter going, your defense is probably going to be, I'd say, probably a little bit better. There's a couple positions they're a little iffy at linebacker. Their defensive line got better. Their secondary got better as a whole, which I know was weird to say when you say you lose Travis Hunter, but that's why I said it as a whole. They got some good safeties in. Which Juju's still there. He's going to be the backup. But last I've heard doing research, it's going to be Caden, the Liberty transfer that came in. He's a senior. He's played a lot of football. They just feel more comfortable with him being able to run the offense right now. So yeah, it's overall, I don't think they're going to have the 9-3 record they had last year. Just because they've lost so much, and the schedule is going to be a little bit tougher. I would say their ceiling is probably 7-5, and I've got them going either 7-5 or 6-6.
Eesh. Well, that's a fall off. Yeah.
That very first game for them is not going to be easy. Georgia Tech's probably favored to win the game. So,
especially breaking in a brand new quarterback that hadn't played for your team. I actually have that one as a loss. That's one of their losses for me.
Yep.
Just because I know Georgia Tech's on the rise.
Yep.
I would agree. All right, this year I'm doing it better. So even if they're bottom teams, we're going to go so everybody gets a turn and nobody's just sitting there for a minute. Kentucky, I think I had 3-9. I just think they're going to, even with Calzada coming over at quarterback, I think they're just going to continue to be bad. What Stoops is the longest tenured coach in the SEC, which always surprised me every time I read that. But it's when I look at this schedule, maybe you're getting the first 3. I guess I can't give you 3-9 lose every game at the end. So maybe 4. I'm sorry, 4-8, maybe 5-7. But I see them missing a bowl.
Just
Go ahead,
a
Rodg,
side
I see
note.
you breathing
Just a
heavily.
side note with Kentucky. If Kendrick Law happens to have some sort of magical, spectacular season, yes, we are taking credit for it.
Good point, Rodg.
Yes.
Always a good point. And Rodg, since you just chimed in,
Yeah.
Arkansas.
What can we say about Arkansas? I think this is Sam Pittman entering in his 6th season, I believe, with the team. Started off pretty good. Last few seasons have been kind of rocky. I have them ending at 6-6 this year. I'm not sure about their Taylor Green at their quarterback yet. I think he's got to work on some accuracy issues and some other things. He had 15 touchdowns. He had through 9 interceptions and 15 touchdowns last year, so that's not spectacular, but he's got room for improvement. Again, I have them going 6-6. I think they start off beating A&M, beating Arkansas State. They lose to Ole Miss. I was unsure about the Memphis game. I have to do a deep dive into Memphis's program right now, but I do have them losing to Notre Dame. I think probably at Tennessee, Auburn. I mean A&M, the team after A&M. Then they'll win. They'll beat Mississippi State, but then I think they might lose those last 3 too, man. So I don't know if that comes down to 6-6 or 5-7, but just a rough patch ahead. And I guess the question is, does Pittman stay after this season, or will they let him go?
Randy, bold because it's low or because it's high? Because I had them at 4 or 5. Going through theirs real quick. All right, who does that bring us next to? Who has it? Oh, them beat. Let me get. Yeesh, the ugly ones.
Yeah, so I'm down on Tennessee this year.
Good.
I think they're going to take a step back pretty significantly. The one thing that gives me pause is that they do have some good experience on defense. I think they're going to be good defensively, but they have 4 new starters on the offensive line. Joey Aguilar was recently named the starter. Right. Nico leaving in the spring. We talked about that then. It kind of put them in a bad position. So I'm not really sold on him. I'm not sure how much competition he had for that job, but I've got him like 7-5, 8-4. I think there's a couple swing games on the schedule. That those home games against Oklahoma and Vanderbilt, I think are key to them getting to 8-4. Otherwise, I kind of have them losing the games you'd expect. UGA at Bama. I think that at Florida game is going to be tough for them too. I kind of like Florida in that one. I think it's difficult schedule as all the SEC teams have, and I really think Tennessee's going to take a little bit of a step back.
Yep. I was looking at their win total, and it's still 8.5. I was like,
yeah, that struck me as high.
Would take under. Yeah,
I'd take the under on that.
Yep. All right. Randy says 5-6. Yeah, I don't know. I guess I got to see a little Calzada and see if the coaching changes, but 4-5 is about where I put them. And I think Kentucky's was 4.5. I'd stay away from that one totally. I mean, it looks like they have 4 cupcakes, and then you got to go through SEC play. So,
it's brutal.
All right, that gets us back to the most. So I was going to say the most boring person, but it's actually Mike, not me. So
that's true.
I guess we're going to handle the hated teams kind of in a row.
Oh,
yeah. So Auburn, oddly enough, I didn't have a whole lot of notes on. I'm going to say 5-7 or 6-6. There's a couple of swing games. Depends on how Missouri's doing by the time they get there. Vandy, obviously, Pavia seems to have Auburn's kryptonite, which I like. Hopefully, he still doesn't have Alabama's, which I didn't like. So,
yeah. He just owns the whole state. So,
yeah, with those 2 swing games, I mean, I've got either anywhere from 7-5 to 5-7. But with those swing games, if they lose both of those, they're going to go 5-7. So that's what I'm going to say, 5-7.
Where is Jay Bake at? Because he would tell you right now that South Alabama is going to beat Auburn 30-28.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
that's what he needs. Yep.
That Baylor game is probably the most interesting to me.
Yeah,
just because they've said they're going to play 3 quarterbacks during that game. That's crazy.
Yeah. Was that I thought that was a clickbait thing. Is that True?
No, I thought he actually said that, right?
Oh my goodness.
It's a quote that how you interpret it is up to you. I mean, it's
Okay.
classic. It's classic Hugh Freeze.
Gotcha.
Okay.
I mean, it's going to be the quarterback's fault no matter what if they lose. So that's definitely a Hugh Freeze thing.
Yeah.
Bingo.
Randy, how do you see J Bake always comes through? Randy, how do y'all feel about them retiring the jersey when you're in town? That brings it to Herb with another stinker. Although they might be a little bit better this year. I think I wrote down 6-6 and going to bowl without even looking at their schedule for real. 3.5 is their win total. So you can go like 4 and 5 overachieve and still not be there. But the Arizona State game is going to be tough. At least it's at home, so maybe they sneak up on them. Hopefully you're 4-0 when you play Tennessee, and then you guys maybe squeak out too. So it depends on kind of where Missouri and Arkansas seem like your best shot. But for the rest of those, it seems like you're just punting on this season and trying to develop and shoot for next year. So
Yeah.
you said you would like still got to play Georgia. Yeah, I mean
Yeah,
we're not picking.
I think Arizona
Go
State gets them. I've actually got Arizona State beating Colorado because they're on their schedule as well, being in Big 12. So I had to look in them a little bit. So I'd say that Arizona State gets them.
I mean, I'm looking at these, and clearly through SEC play, there's no team that they'll be favored over. So it's like you have to win
Missouri
all the conference, maybe, but at least it's at Missouri. So
yeah.
And what's up, Piano Man?
Piano Man in the building. Thank you for joining us.
Yep. We'll have to catch up with him later. But he usually goes live, I think, every morning, 8 or 9. I usually catch him there. So the countdown to college football is on, man. Good to have you on tonight. Appreciate it.
Thank you for joining us, sir.
Yeah, Carol, I didn't like that either. And I'll just kind of leave it at that because I could go off on that for a while. All right, that gives me to Rodg. Rodg, this is funny. So I was reading an article, Rodg, that had all the win totals. Oh, what, are you surprised I can read? I've got glasses.
Yeah, somewhat, yes.
Oh. And the only team that they left off the win totals was Mizzou from the SEC.
Why?
And if you ever watched, what's my guy's name that does the SEC roll call? They disrespect Mizzou every week. I felt like,
was it Matt Mitchell?
Matt Mitchell, yeah. There we go. So
what
do you got for Mizzou?
My big question for Missouri this season is going to be their quarterback situation. I know they lost Brady Cook to the draft, and they won 10 games. They went 10-3 last year. I still don't know who their starting quarterback is going to be this year. They got Horn or Prabula. I don't even know if I pronounced his last name right. The fact that I can't pronounce his last name means I'm not sure who their quarterback is going to be. They do have a good starting left tackle in Caden Green. I think he made second team preseason All-American, so they'll have a little bit blocking up front. But regarding their overall schedule, I have Missouri going 8-4, maybe 9-3, but I put them down as 8-4, so that's what I'm going to stick with. I have them losing. I think I picked South Carolina, Bama, A&M, and Oklahoma. I think those are the games that I have them losing. So I have Missouri going 8-4. And keep in mind, Drinkowitz was 2 years ago? They were like 11-2, 10-3. So I don't think they get 10 wins this season.
Yep. I like it.
But I could be wrong.
I think they're definitely an underrated team. I overlook them every time. When somebody talks about our tough road games, I don't even put them in there. So,
Me either. But I need to.
And I hope I'm right on that. Yep.
Yeah.
All right, man. Bama beat our unfortunate kryptonite last year. The team that is now slated to win the national championship, according to their coach and their quarterback.
Yeah, we were probably all chuckling when we did this.
Okay,
preview last year.
Yes.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
So I think Vandy's going to be very similar to, as far as quality, to the team they were last year. I do think they take a little bit of a step back because I think there's going to be, for one, I think teams are going to take them a little bit more seriously. They're not going to go as under the radar this season. I also think that offense that they're running with Jerry Keel and Pavia, it's kind of very niche, very unique as far as compared to other SEC offenses. I think you're going to have more film on that this year. Defenses are going to be a little bit more prepared. So I had them at like 6-6, 5-7 swing games. I think Mizzou at Tennessee are some games that they might need to win to get to that bowl eligibility. I think at Virginia Tech early is interesting as well. Brent Pry's on the hot seat in Blacksburg. So, I think if Vandy goes in there and wins that one, that may kind of set his fate there. But so I think they'll be similar to what they were last year, but maybe not catching folks by surprise quite as much.
Right. Yeah. And what was okay? Oh, I'm sorry. That's what I was. Their win total was 4.5. Given what they did last year, that's kind of, yeah.
Wow.
So that's a very, very interesting one given what happened last year. So, all right, let's go. I think we're headed back to Big Mike.
Yep.
What you say, Mike? Do you want to have the team out there with? You want to guess at the team without even having them on the screen? Mike could do it.
Well, I only have 2 left. So this one I found interesting. Obviously, you've got Sellers coming back, so you've got a returning QB. Interesting. They played Virginia Tech first, since we just talked about Vandy playing Virginia Tech. I guess they're trying to audition for the SEC for future editions. I guess playing some of the SEC schedule. I don't think either one of those games go their way. Like you said, they're kind of on the hot seat. I do think it's cool Beamer playing Virginia Tech. So that's kind of cool
for sure.
But I've got them going 8-4, kind of the same that they went last year. So I mean, there's not, other than Sellers coming back, I mean, there's not a whole lot else into it. I think they're going to have experience at quarterback. I think they're going to be just as good.
Feels like there's going to be a logjam around that 8-4, that 8-4 range. Because I feel like with Oklahoma, I'm around that same one. Michigan game early is interesting just because of all the changes. And, obviously, Mateer and Ott is what we're looking at for Oklahoma. Defense is going to be solid. How do they come out on the other side of that? Win total is 6.5. So people are not expecting a whole lot. I think they blow past that. They're going to be a tough out this year. I think I could very easily see 5-0 playing Texas, especially you have Auburn at home. So 5-0 playing Texas. Part of me wants to pick them to beat Texas and then go to South Carolina lose, but I just think somewhere in here, your most obvious ones, Texas, Alabama, LSU, even though you've got them at home. This is one of those kind of, if they went 10-2, you might not be completely shocked if the offense is much better, but there's just so much on Mateer's shoulders. So I think I just talked myself into 9-3 while we were in the middle of this, even though I started at 8-4. But I do think they blow past their win percentage, and they're going to be a tough out. They're not a team I'm looking for. I'm glad we have them at home, but they're going to be a tough out this year. So
yeah, don't be surprised. I guess my hot take of the entire thing. Don't be surprised if that LSU Oklahoma is like a play-in game for the playoffs.
I like it.
Could happen.
I missed which one this was. JP, was that them? And yeah, Capool, the logjam usually is 10-2. I feel like it was going to be 8-4, but now I'm thinking maybe a 9-3 same. So, and was this Oklahoma 7-5? Book it.
I think so. Yeah, because right when you posted the schedule, that's when Jeff said 7-5. So I'm assuming. Okay. Jeff, correct me if I'm wrong, but are you referring to OU is going 7-5?
Yep. So they said Oklahoma. So Jay Bake is down on them too. So I'm gonna have to clip this show, and we're gonna have to come back to it. So I'd love to be wrong on several of these though. So all right, let's start to get into some good teams or better teams. I think that brings us back to you, Rodg.
Maybe not.
What? I mean,
Texas A&M. I'm good. I'm gonna stay on the 8-4 hype train with A&M. The preseason. I know preseason. I think
what kind of hype train is 8-4?
I don't know, man. I don't know. We've had a lot of 8-4 teams. I had Mizzou at 8-4. I have A&M going 8-4. They think they're coming in preseason ranked at number 19, I believe.
Okay, South Carolina. 7-5, Rodg.
Just looking at their schedule, I mean, the big one obviously at Notre Dame, September 13th. I could see that game honestly kind of going either way, but Notre Dame, they got Jeremiah Love. They're gonna have a great secondary coming back. They just announced their starter in Carr at quarterback, so apparently he's supposed to be pretty good. Well, we'll see. But A&M's gonna have a good defense returning as well. So I don't know. I think I picked Notre Dame to win that game though. Not sure about the team after Notre Dame. Don't even want to say their name. I also have A&M losing at LSU. So I'll say they're going to lose to Notre Dame. They're going to lose to LSU, at Texas, and I think I may have picked Missouri as well. And I have A&M going 8-4.
Like it.
Yeah.
South Carolina sleeper. Yeah, Kat, they're a weird one, and especially since we don't play them, I don't pay as much attention to them. But I've seen stuff where they were somebody had a top 10 on them, and a lot of them have top 25. So they're an interesting one to figure out.
I'm sure.
All right, let's move on to a really good one. I think Bama Beat definitely got the best group of teams for sure.
Yeah, I kept waiting for y'all to pick some of these teams, and nobody did. So. LSU
calls idiots all over. Look, man, you can't be the smartest and have the best hair. That's just not fair.
Oh man, LSU, very trendy pick right now. For some reason, it seems like as we got late into the summer, LSU started becoming a really trendy pick among some of the prognosticators. I've got them as like a bubble playoff team. I think I settled on 9-3, but I think I could see 8-4 easily. That OU game, someone mentioned it earlier that they could see that being like a playoff deciding or playoff fate deciding game. I think that game's going to be critical, and that's kind of what I ended up deciding on 9-3 because I feel like Brian Kelly, if he's got to win that game, I'm not a fan of the guy, but I feel like he'll win that game if they have to. So they went heavy on the transfer portal. That always makes me a little nervous. I think Nuss is solid. I don't know that he's good as everybody thinks he is. They should be better defensively second year under Blake Baker, but again, a lot of transfer portal guys. So you're kind of hoping all that meshes together. So LSU 9-3 is what I had, bubble playoff team.
Yeah. And a lot of people seem to think this if they fall to that. And for anybody reading, JP, I'll get yours later, but good stuff on Oklahoma. Like I said, I think they could be scary. All right, Mike, redemption tour is here. Mike, this was Mike's first pick because he feels like he did bad last year. You already have somebody out here saying, Mike, you better pick this one.
I'm just waiting on the jokes to start kicking in with Florida. Let me see how many he can reel
there
off.
we go. Rod, you might have to wait a long way until you – never mind. Okay.
One. All right.
Well, I mean, so what will determine how long of a way they go in this season is Lagway's health, because obviously he's been kind of up and down.
Yeah.
And that's really the hardest thing about doing the schedule. I mean, I have anywhere from 5-7 to 8-5 to be completely, or 5-8 to 8-5, depending on how far Lagway goes throughout the season. And they still have one of the hardest schedules in the country, just like they did last year.
Yeah.
Which is why last year I gave them such a bad rating. I think I did 2 wins, maybe 3 last year. It will definitely not be that bad this year, in my estimation. They went 8-5 last year. I've got them going about that. Again, depending on Lagway's health. You've got Texas A&M to me, which is a swing game. That Miami one's interesting with Carson Beck down there now. I don't have a whole lot of faith in Carson Beck. I actually have them winning that game, but it's very questionable. And then you have like Ole Miss and Tennessee. They could flip flop either one of those 2 games, win one and lose one. So I mean, I would definitely see 8-5.
8-4, right?
Sorry, 8-4. Yeah, 8-4. 7-5. I was trying to put those 2 together. Around that threshold. What service I looked at, their win total was 7.5, so that puts it right there on it. So
Yep. I see the same thing.
Which, oddly enough, all my SEC teams were 7.5.
Yeah.
But there's several teams that seem like South Carolina's kind of doing the same thing, especially with the losses on defense. So, and with him already being hurt, that's got to put a damper on your season already. So it could just
and when you're talking,
there's a lot of different things that could happen this season. It wouldn't surprise me.
And when you're talking the quarterback position alone, I mean, it's not that big of a surprise if your starting quarterback goes down, you're going to go down. So I could see if your entire program goes down, if you lose a wide receiver, a running back, a DB, the quarterback, the person that drives your whole team, if they go down, you're going to drop down a lot for most teams.
No, Jeff, what was the tweet? I totally missed the Carson Beck one. All right, let's get into some other good stuff. Oh, here's my favorite then. I have so my bold take was going to be 8-4 for Texas, but I have them at 9-3 and missing the playoffs. Losing the two best games, like they lose at Ohio State, they lose at Georgia. If I had to pick one game, 1,000% I think they're going to lose. They're going to lose at Georgia.
Yeah.
And then when I was trying to do 8-4, I had them losing either at Florida or the Red River rivalry, just surprising them. So one of those two. And then surprisingly for me, I had them losing a game like Arkansas just because, or Texas A&M at the end of the year. But I'm gonna go with 9-3 and missing the playoffs. But 8-4 would make me very, very happy. I feel like with 9 returning starters for the whole team, too much on Arch. Starting off with Ohio State will probably put you behind. And I just think some of these teams are going to sneak up and get them, if Arch falters at all. So I have 9-3 missing, but I would love to be 8-4 too as well. So
that A&M game has been a very trendy pick.
A tough one,
what I've been looking at.
Yeah, for them win. Yep. So
Herb, question: regardless of schedule, do you think Arch Manning comes back after this season?
No, or do you think I think he's going to be a top 5 pick regardless. And I just don't, I don't see him wasting that. So I think he goes.
Yeah.
All righty. What does that bring us to? Rodg's best team. If I could spell. Couldn't find the O.
right before the P. All right. Ole Miss. What a surprise. I have them going 8-4 as well. They lost a lot of players to the draft. They lost about 8. I think 8 players got drafted, and then some more signed as undrafted free agents. Some of those being, of course, starting quarterback Jackson Dart. They lost Walter Nolan. They lost Trey Amos, who was at Bama. Let's see. So they lost a lot of players. But overall, I just feel like last year's team may have been one of the best teams Ole Miss has had in a long time, just roster-wise on both sides of the ball. I don't know if this team is going to be able to even match that. Obviously, Austin Simmons is their new quarterback. Big kid. We saw glimpses of him in the Georgia game. Herb and I talked about it. He looked good.
Not even glimpses. We saw one glimpse, and we all looked like,
he looked pretty decent. He looked pretty decent. He's big kid. Got some good size on him. He's got a good arm. I think he can really help out the program. It's just going to take some time, to see him on the field. But still, I have Ole Miss going 8-4. I have them losing. Yeah. And I have them losing to LSU. I think I picked LSU, Georgia, OU, and Florida. Those are my 4 losses for Ole Miss.
I could see it. I really think they're just going to look back at their program's history and think, did we miss that one chance? Although I think, was it one of the Way Outside's guys that just posted today? I think it was Cotton that said Lane will win a national title at Ole Miss one day. Interesting.
Mm-hmm. And Pete Golden just got a nice little raise the other day, didn't he? So
he did. He did.
See what he can do with that.
And JP, I agree with that, but it's tough to come in your first full starting year, so we'll see. And that brings us to the big dog, the returning champion. I know Carol's waiting to.
You did not have to say returning champion. You could have just said Georgia. You didn't have to give
them. Oh, sorry.
Golly.
Sorry.
Georgia.
What you got for us, Bama?
So I think I settled on 10-2. I could see 9-3. I think Georgia had some offensive line struggles last year. They expect to be better there. I think they're pretty well positioned at the skill positions, which is wide receiver historically has been a weakness for Georgia, but they brought in some talent there with Branch, from USC. I'm not sold on Gunnar Stockton. I think it's a questionable fit just from what I've seen of Mike Bobo's offenses in the past. So that's got me a little hesitant. I think they'll be good defensively, but I don't think they, are what they were a few years ago, just due to the, you can't stack depth and talent like you used to be able to. So I trust that coaching staff, though. I mean, Kirby, is the best in the game. So I went with 10-2. I think that Florida game on a neutral field is a swing game, in my opinion. That if they lose that one, it could push them to 9-3. And I think they're going to lose one of the Bama or Texas games at home. I could see either one there. So
if they beat Florida, though, and they, let's say for us. They lose to Alabama. They beat Texas. Does that put them at 11-1, or you think they'll still drop one other random one somewhere else? Or those your
I had them dropping a random one. Maybe
agreed, Cat.
I hate to say it, and I don't know that I believe it, but I had at Auburn as a tricky game. I don't know how
Auburn's
good
already
Auburn's going to
talking
be.
trash about that game. Yeah.
But that's always a huge game down at Auburn, and Georgia hasn't played very well the last few times they've played down there. So, I trust that coaching staff, but this is probably the lowest I've been on Georgia in a few years.
In a minute. Yep. Randy's exact words when he was on here. Now, I don't think he's done his season actual prediction on his show, but he said he thinks they're a 9-3 team that goes 10-2. So, and I said, yeah, I think the coaching staff, like you, I'm like you, I trust the coaching staff. Period.
I'm kind of exactly where Randy
Jeff.
is.
I agree, Jeff. At least in their own minds. Yeah, man, I agree too, and I think the coaching staff will eke out that extra win. And I trust Kirby, so I think he'll have his team ready.
Same here.
So, and yep, Cat for sure. One question we'll get everybody's real quick. We'll do a question of death for each of you, and we'll get on out of here. For Bama, like I said, Rodg and I'll answer this question next week, so we'll give it to our guests. Actually, we're just going to give this just to Bama because Mike will answer this on Saturday. Mike will be the star of the Saturday night show, so he'll talk a little bit more Bama and his season predictions this week. So what do you got for him, Bama?
So is this question asking if Bama goes 9-3?
I think this was it because it was in the middle of our segment, so
yeah,
it was way before the other ones came up.
Yeah, so I think
you probably go hand in hand.
You're probably dropping that Georgia game. I mean that's a tough one. Even if you're not sold on Georgia, I mean that's a tough place to go and win there. They have a pretty good winning streak there for a reason. I'm sure they'll be hyped up for that one, just given their recent lack of success against Alabama. I think if we drop 3 games, you're probably dropping one that you don't expect to, and that's really my overarching concern with Alabama this year. Is can they be ready week to week? Are they ready to play?
He's just
week?
Answering the question that was presented to him.
Right.
It's not his fault.
This is like one of those press conferences where you try to ask a question for clickbait just so you can clip that.
Yes.
So yeah, I think if Alabama ends up 9-3, you probably drop some games that you didn't expect to. Everybody points to those Tennessee LSU games. Those are probably the tougher home games that Alabama has this year. Oklahoma, depending on what they end up being. But I think that's the big question with Kalen DeBoer at this point is can he get them ready to play week to week? Because I had some issues with that at Washington. You should have a much bigger talent advantage now at Alabama that you didn't get to enjoy at Washington. So you're hoping that kind of goes away. And, last year can be explained away as, the usual inconsistency that you see in a first-year head coach, just trying to install new schemes and everything. But I guess I'll go on record now. I've got Alabama 11-1 or 10-2.
Hey.
Jeff, you owe him an apology.
Hats off to that.
He wants to hear the apology.
Hey, you got to take your hats off to that.
I'm not taking my hat off.
I ain't got no.
Okay, never mind.
It's up there.
I think
that little glimpse right there tells everybody why Bama's the only one not wearing a hat. You have to do like this. I have them going.
I can't feel natural doing that.
You gotta do that, yeah. I would love for us to go 11-1.
Definitely keep for that. Yep.
Yeah,
so Mike will give his predictions this Saturday. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, I just want to say that I think there's always a lot of optimism this time of year. Around camps and everything. It's inherently an optimistic time of the year, but and I'm a little bit in wait and see mode. But I just got a gut feeling this football team's going to be good. Just everything I've heard out of practice. I think the mindset's right. The leadership feels like it's where it's been in the past with some teams. So the schedule's really tough. So that may be a tall task to go 11-1, which is why I think 10-2 would be perfectly acceptable with this with this schedule, and it'll get you in the playoff. But I'm just high on this football team. I think they've got the leadership. I think the mindset's right. I think they're going to be ready to go.
I like it. Appreciate that. Well, as I kind of mentioned there, I think Mike is the star of the Saturday show this week, so he escapes any of the hijinks until then. Bam Beat, I did kind of run a little over. I'm going to give you one question, and then we're going to get out of here for the night. Everybody can say where they see us. Like I said, Saturday, we'll have our regular Saturday night show. Mike is already trying to pick out what drinks he's bringing. So that's going to be fun. And the next Tuesday, of course, will be the Bama show. I didn't read it enough to care in my personal. Like, I didn't even click on it, so I was working today. And I was like, Auburn, do what you need to. Everybody else can answer, though, for sure.
Well, I mean, I'm okay with it. Again, I claim Notre Dame's lacrosse national championship because we loaned them Buckner. So you can claim whatever you want to.
I think Jeff sums it up perfectly.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't really care, but I did respond to Barrett Salee today because he took a shot at Bama.
I saw that.
So, yeah, I mean, Auburn can do what they want. It seems a little weird to me after all these years to retroactively claim them, but yeah.
Right.
John Cohen's
you got to stay relevant. Yeah, you got to stay relevant somehow.
Yeah, John Cohen's an interesting guy, so I don't know if he's behind it, but that'd be my guess.
Mm-hmm. All right, man, Beat. New game for you. And you're probably going to see where this is going. You've got a football team, and you got to name an offensive coordinator, your innovative, smart person, get you downfield. Defensive coordinator, person just stops other people from doing stuff. And your special team coach, the guy you only trust to handle the kickers and not much else. Okay? The most useless of your team. You can almost probably guess who your three people are. Herb, Rodg, and Big Mike. Who are your coordinators?
Man, that's tough. I knew it was gonna be a gotcha question. It usually is.
You've been on the show too much now, so there's a.
Yeah, I'll go. Herb, I know you're a big offensive guy, so I'll put you as the OC.
It's the glasses. Mike's like, uh-oh.
Mike, I know you know a lot about wrestling. That's a physical sport, so we'll go DC for you.
I'm doing special teams.
Raj, I'll make you special assistant to the head coach. That's an extra million.
We're gonna create positions just to make Raj feel better.
It's an extra million.
You just called me special. I'm special. I'm the special guy.
Look, you got to have a special teams coordinator.
Man, what did I do to deserve this?
Oh, your face when he named his defensive coordinator. That should have been a press conference.
Look, Mike had the wrestling tie-in.
Oh. We're sorry, Rod.
Hey, guys, go out there and kick that ball a long way. Catch it and then fair catch.
Wait, are we talking about Lagway again?
Oh, you want to kick the ball a long way?
Raj, I'll pay you $1.5 million a year, and you don't have to recruit.
Special teams.
And we'll buy your place on Lake Tuscaloosa.
I'm down. Thank you.
Assistant to the regional manager. That's you, Raj.
I'll take it, man. I will definitely.
Wow, grad assistant.
Hey, I'll just say this. Everybody likes to joke, but y'all remember when we were missing field goals against LSU back in the day?
Oh, yeah.
Missing field goals against Auburn. Special teams will lose you a game.
I'll fix all that.
Oh, yeah. And Randy put a grade on here. There is no special team slander. No, that was just for purposes of this question because we didn't have enough people to do the ditch part of it. So I was like, we're coming up with something because somebody's got to get insulted on the show. So
and I played soccer in high school, so I'll get those kickers in check. I'll figure that out.
There you go.
Yeah. Did you see what Jay Bake wants from you, Raj?
I'll message you later, man. I'll take care of you.
Oh, guys, appreciate y'all showing up as always. Bambi, what you got going on? We heard you got is it a shampoo line coming out, shampoo and conditioner or something that's up next? Just tell us what you got going on.
Yeah, shampoo and cologne line coming out this fall season. So pumpkin spice if you're into that. But yeah, you can follow me on Twitter at the Bama Beat. You know, we'll start to get a little bit more active as the season kicks up here. Happy to say I'll be in Tallahassee for the Florida State game. So we'll
Same here. We'll catch up.
Y'all gonna be down there?
Yep.
All right.
Yes, sir.
Yep.
We'll catch up with you.
Yeah, excited to see that one. So be tweeting throughout the season. You know, everything Alabama football. We'll tweet about basketball once it gets kicked up. So you can follow on Twitter.
Like it, man. Appreciate it. Big Mike, tell everybody what you got going on, especially with the greatest wrestling podcast known to man.
Yes.
Yes, sir. You see it down there by my shoulder at _BMike27 or the Running Wrestling Podcast on YouTube. You can also find us at SP3DROCK. That's Bedrock, my co-host, over on Twitch. We have a 30-minute behind the scenes. We start the main show at 7 o'clock Eastern, 6 o'clock Central, Herb. 7 o'clock Eastern, 6 o'clock Central. It is a new time. We've been doing it about a month now.
You saying that because I miss it every single time. I'm just not used.
And you have texted me to remind you, so this is your reminder. I know you said you have another show going on it on Thursday, but it's going to be a little later, so you can still tune in to ours as you're doing your show prep and talk some wrestling. We are doing Heat Wave predictions for NXT Heat Wave, which is this Saturday. We will be talking everything else. He didn't write it down. That's very true.
Can't be on me, man.
As Herb previously mentioned, you can catch me back on this channel Saturday night, 7:30 on Herb and Rodg After Dark. And you will get to see my top 5 Bama players, which actually gave Herb a very big surprise. So if you want to see what that surprise was and what shocked him as my top 5, make sure you tune in Saturday for my top 5 Bama players.
Appreciate it, man. Thank y'all to everybody who was commenting on there.
Yes.
You know, Randy, we should actually hype your guy up because we're getting to a point where I might actually have a little bit of fuzz down there. So, Jeff, appreciate you. Jay Money, thanks for stopping in. Hope you click that like and subscribe since we're very terrible at asking people to do that during the show. But appreciate you coming by here. And I thought Jay also said something. Blah, blah, blah. Appreciate the questions. Look, we're heavily dependent on comments, man. Comments help make our shows. We appreciate everybody being on there. I'll probably forget to do all this. And look, 6:15, I'll be logging into Mike's show going, hey, you guys switched to 6, even though, like you said, it's been months. So I'm just terrible at it. So appreciate our regulars. I'll have an 8 p.m. on Thursday, 7 p.m. Mike. Yep. Appreciate it. Thank you, Jay Bake. Not surprised you. Dang, JP. It's all about the alcohol, and we're in different spots, so we're good.
Yeah.
And appreciate you. Oh, thank you.
Appreciate everybody.
Thank you. Yep. We'll see y'all on, I guess this week we might be doing random stuff. On Wednesday, recording, a Thursday show that we're guesting on, then Saturday. This is why my wife gets mad at me, because I'm down here doing all this. I blame it on you, but I'm having fun. We appreciate it. We will see y'all soon. You guys. Until then, roll Tide, everybody.
Let's go, special teams.
Do you have